Does one of the 10 Commandments prohibit one from saying God's name? No. What that commandment says is not to use God's name in vain, and not to use His name in vain does not mean we stop calling Him by His name. God has a name, and His name is Yehovah. Moses knew the name of God, Israel knew the name, and those who created their own gods and gave their gods names knew the name of the God of Israel. According to the scripture, the enemies feared Yehovah, the God of Israel. Just read Joshua chapter 9, and when you get to verse 9, you will see that they knew the name of the God of Israel and they feared Him. There are many scriptural stories that make it clear that the enemies of Israel knew the name of the God of Israel. One day as I was praying I told God there are many who create their own gods and give them names. And in the atmosphere of my mind the Spirit of God put this in my mind: this is the difference between me and their gods. They create their gods and give them names. I am God and this is my name, Yehovah. With the above being said, remember what Yehovah the God of our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did. He smote Egypt in their firstborn and brought out Israel from among them with a strong hand and a stretched out arm. He divided the Red Sea into parts and made Israel to pass through the midst of it, but he overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea. He led his people through the wilderness and smote great kings and famous kings, the king of the Amorites, and the king of Bashan. He heard the prayer of Hezekiah, who prayed against the king of Assyria, and he smote the Assyrians. Remember the victory at Gibeon. The king of Jerusalem and the king of Hebron and the king of Jarmuth and the king of Lachish and the king of Eglon gathered together and encamped before Gibeon, and made war against it, and Yehovah said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand, there shall not a man of them stand before thee. Yehovah discomfited them before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and as they were chased away, Yehovah cast down great stones from heaven upon them, slaughtering the enemy of Israel. Yehovah remembers us in our low estate, and He redeems us from our enemies. We who are God's chosen need to put our trust in God and start calling Him by His name, which is Yehovah. Remember that the enemies tremble at the hearing of His name. When we start calling our God by His name, He will respond, and He will sanctify and magnify His name so that all nations will know that Yehovah is God, the God of Israel.